Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about intermittent fasting. Now, first of all, I want to put out there that I am obviously not a medical professional, and I'm not even an expert in the subject. I'm just simply going to pass along to you what I know, what I'm doing, and how it's working. So, first of all, intermittent fasting. What is it? It is simply just what it says. You fast, which is not eating, for intermittent periods of time. We all fast during the day for a period of time when we sleep, because we're not eating, of course. That's why the word breakfast came from, where the word breakfast came from is because it's the first meal after you break your fast of all night sleeping. So there are several different types of intermittent fasting, and the two that I've seen the most talked about when I was doing my research into what it was and if I wanted to do it was the type that you don't eat for a full 24 hours at a time, a couple times a week. Now, this is not something that would work for me. I have an eating disorder, and when I don't eat for an extended period of time, my brain starts to freak out. If I'm depressed and don't want to eat, that's one thing, but when my body tells me I'm hungry and I am just not eating, my brain freaks out, and then when I can eat, I tend to binge. So that's not something that I knew was going to work for me. Then I came across the 16-8 fasting, intermittent fasting technique. And that's when you fast for 16 hours a day and then you eat during the other 8. And that doesn't mean you eat for the complete 8 hours, you just fit your meals into that 8-hour period. And intermittent fasting is not a diet plan. There's no food you can't eat. It's just simply a method of eating more than a plan of eating. So what I do is I'll eat my last meal around 8 o'clock at night, and then I will start my fast around 9. And then I will stay fasting until about 1 o'clock the next day. That means that the majority of my fasting time I'm asleep, because I usually wake up between 6 and 7 on good days when I'm sleeping normally, and I have insomnia a lot, but that's a completely different subject. But the majority of the fasting time is time that I'm sleeping, so it's easier for me. Once I break my fast around 1 o'clock, I have my first meal, which is usually what I consider a breakfast. And then I'll have my second meal around, like I said, around 8 o'clock, between 7 and 8, sometimes earlier, sometimes later, it depends. And that's what I consider a dinner meal. And I keep my calories, I like to keep my calories under 1,000. There are days that I go over 1,000, but my hard limit is 1,200. That's what I will not go over unless I'm having a time when I am just not eating on my plan, and I'm having a bad day. So those are, I keep my 1,000 calories. I like to keep my 1,000 calories in those 2 meals. There are times that I have a snack. If my calorie count is lower, I'll add a snack to my day. And so for the first couple of days, it was extremely hard for me. I think the first couple of days I didn't even make it the whole 16 hours. I didn't even make it 12 hours. I made it the time that I slept plus maybe about 4 or 5 hours added to that, and then I was ready to eat. But as the time went on, I kept building myself up to the 16 hours. There may be some people that are able to do it for a full 16 hours and it wouldn't affect them. But for me, I had to build up to it. And there are still days now that I've been doing it for a little over a month now, and there are still days that some days are harder than others. Some days it's not hard at all. It just depends on the day, my mood, my body, etc. So it's important that if you have any kind of a health condition that you check with your doctor, especially if you're diabetic, because I know sometimes diabetics need to eat in a different pattern to keep their blood sugar stable. The top 2 benefits that I've read about of intermittent fasting is it reduces inflammation in your body as well as lowers your blood sugar. And thankfully I've never had a problem with blood sugar, but I do know that when your blood sugar insulin levels are higher, it's harder for you to lose weight. And when they're lower, it's easier for you to lose weight. You never want to get your blood sugar too low or too high, of course, but the lower it is naturally, the better it is and the easier it is for your body to release weight. So that's what I know about intermittent fasting. I hope you found that helpful, and if you did, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you all soon.